As I mentioned, haven't seen you since before Christmas, so I'm last to the party again talking about Tyson Fury. I'm going to try and keep this relatively fresh. I understand you've done thousands of interviews since, so I'm not going to sit here and we're not going to do War and Peace over the entire fight.
I did do my best to give him a good every time. Just to keep us talking about the fight as much, because it was a big fight and he deserves all the praise for what he achieved there.
Certainly does, and yeah, you have done that, but you haven't done it with me yet. I spoke to you straight after the fight, because I couldn't sleep, just like the first fight. After the first fight, couldn't sleep in LA. Yeah, now you've had a few weeks to have a look back on it. Try and tell me something that you haven't told everybody else about the fight.
Basically, in layman terms. I can't really tell you anything that I didn't tell you. Actually, there is one thing. I can't remember who I said it to a couple of people, but I can't remember who. I actually said that going into the fight, I felt that Wilder had not yet shown that he could perform at that level, under that pressure, on that stage. Obviously, the first fight was the biggest fight that Wilder had been involved with in his career. And he himself said that he felt like he didn't perform. I felt like he performed, he let his hands go, which is something that's important for Wilder. Tyson, obviously, he's used to landing at, I think it's around 45, 46, 47%, might even be 48%. Wilder's used to landing at, but Tyson kept him at 17%. So I understand why he felt like that, but his actual output was very high. So that sort of credit has to go to Tyson for keeping him at 17% in that first fight, not letting him feel or hit anything, which sort of discouraged him, and sort of why he's saying he felt like he didn't perform in that first fight. That would have only created doubts going into the second fight of, I didn't perform last time, and can I perform at this stage? Is it the pressure? Is it this? Is it that? There's so many things that will be going through his head, and we know that Tyson rose to the occasion because he had that big fight before with Klitschko. That was sort of, what fight would you say was bigger, Wilder?
What, the second Wilder?
No, the first Wilder fight or the Klitschko fight. Probably more people tuned in because people knew more so who Tyson was for the first Wilder fight. It's probably a bigger stage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But nonetheless, obviously, in terms of for Tyson, Klitschko was probably his biggest stage because it was like his first test at that level against the formidable Vladimir Klitschko. So Tyson knew himself, when it comes to it, when shit hits the fan, I'm rising to the occasion. He'd done the same in the first fight. Albeit people talk about, Wilder won 2 rounds. But in terms of actual time span in the ring, over 36 minutes, Wilder probably won a minute and a half of that fight. So Tyson knows that he rises to the occasion. That was a bonus going into that second fight, I feel. That was a advantage Tyson. And I think that is actually a part of what Wilder's talking about the suit. Anybody who's had a fight, whether it's in the ring, outside the ring, whatever, that adrenaline that you get through your body and the legs when you feel that adrenaline in your legs. Some people rise to it, some people crumble at it, some people get stuck in with it, and I think that, I'm not saying Wilder crumbled under the pressure, but I feel like that's probably what it was more than the suit. I think that, obviously he had that adrenaline going through his body, and that adrenaline, I don't think he coped with it well. And I think that's probably why he felt like his legs weren't underneath him. Not because of the outfit to the ring. So, it was something that was a question that I felt. It was something that I wasn't sure. I've not seen Wilder rise to the occasion yet, but we've seen Tyson do it. And that was a question that I had going into that second fight. And it seemed to be the way, that Wilder didn't quite rise to the occasion, but Tyson's shown time and time again that he will.
Before we come on to the rest of the fight, you've briefly touched upon it there, so let's talk about it now. The outfit excuse you've already addressed. There's been this glove thing that's come out. It's not the first random glove story. We had the sparring partner not too long ago, who came out. Again, was kind of universally lambasted for it, but do have to ask, and you know better than anybody. Talk to me about this glove theory, about glove tampering, and just your response to that.
Well, I've heard so many different things. I've heard that he put his thumb on the inside of the glove. I've heard that he put his fist in the wrist part of the glove. Is that the main, the often one? Well, I would actually quite like to know what the benefit of that would be. To land your punches there if you're landing the glove here and your fist is down here. That would be an interesting one. Unless they think that he's I don't know, what do they think? His wrist is curled in the wrist bit like that and that's the top of the glove. How would he land with his knuckles if his wrist is fist is in the wrist of the glove? I don't know. It's quite strange. But one thing I will say that about people talking because the way the glove bends, Tyson throws a lot of throwaway shots. So he will throw shots at you that are to basically make you look at this to hit you with this, in basic terms. He will throw shots at you that he's not intending to hit you with. And he will sort of flick them out, give you something to look at. In fact, the moment before the towel got thrown is a perfect example of that. And it's something I spoke about on the BT Sport Breakdown thing where he's sort of throwing at Wilder's glove. He's not even trying to hit Wilder. Wilder's head's here and he's throwing here. He's not even trying to hit Wilder. He's just occupying Wilder's right hand to then keep a safer offense. It's as simple as that. So there's pictures of the glove bent back against Klitschko, which are Paffin Sport gloves. There's also pictures of the first Wilder fight, which are Everlast MX gloves. Then there's pictures in the second Wilder fight, which are actually Paffin Sport gloves, but a different make, a different type of Paffin Sport glove. Germany, under German officials, in Klitschko's backyard, I don't think he's going to get away with it, do you? America, when Tyson was coming as the opponent, in Wilder's backyard, I don't think he's going to get away with it, do you? In Vegas, there's literally like 3 commissioners in your room at all times. 2, I think, actually. They keep hold of the gloves the whole time. The gloves get watched to be taped on by the opponent's team as well. So unless they think that he's sort of untaped it with his teeth and slid his glove down and retaped it without anybody seeing.
And also forged the commissioner's signature on the gloves.
Yeah, that would have been
that would have been what would have had to have happened. Sorry to interject. Ishe Smith actually put out a really good thread yesterday on Twitter. Obviously, Ishe Smith, based in Las Vegas, fought in Las Vegas several times. Explain to people the process of getting your hands wrapped from the time, or not even that, from picking the gloves.
Yeah.
From there to getting into the ring to having the fight and having the gloves cut off. Talk to us about that.
Well, you go back, you look at your gloves. Obviously, I'd always like to have a look at the opponent's gloves as well. Obviously, the fighter's fighting, so they decide what gloves they want. You have a look at them. Yeah, I'm okay. Obviously, usually if it's somebody like Paffin Sport will be there, Everlast they will be there. They'll have people there representing. And you select your glove in front of the commissioners. You don't get to take them gloves away. The commission keep them gloves. You don't see them gloves again until they arrive in your dressing room before the fight. So, yeah, and then obviously they will come to you and say, what time do you want to wrap tomorrow? And you will say, this time. And then they will have officials there. And if you start wrapping before them, you have to take it off. Then obviously the opponents, a member of the opponent's team will come in to watch you wrap, vice versa. Then they'll watch you tape the gloves and, like you say, sign it off, sign the wraps off, sign the taping of the gloves off. And that commissioner stays with you, follows you, and in Vegas and in California and in most commissions, they will then work with you, work in your corner through that night. So you literally are not out of their sight, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry for putting you through that, because I know that is a very, very basic breakdown of something that the majority of people who follow the sport do understand, but there is a small minority who apparently don't understand, so I thought
it has actually baffled me. I feel like saying anybody and not in a disrespectful way, anybody that thinks that he's put his fist in the wrist of his glove has never put a glove on and punched something in their life. Basically.